Hello everyone. Wow, this is Steve Moore's weather station. Here finally with an update, now that it appears we are getting a better grasp on what's ahead, both temperature-wise and as far as precipitation. There has been so much uncertainty with the forecast models over the past 10 days or so. I even, as an amateur meteorologist, did not feel confident in necessarily any forecast. Every new model run would have a huge change. Finally, over the past, let's say, 72 hours or so, I've saw both the Euro and GFS hint at basically a certain trend or change, if you will. So here in the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, especially the upper Midwest, like Michigan and the UP of Michigan, there's some snow coming, with some already falling in the Dakotas and Montana that will work its way east into Minnesota and Wisconsin over the next 24 hours. Then the UP of Michigan and Michigan also by the 26th. Now, associated with the deep low pressure system working its way through the Great Lakes region, has an associated cold front that will be felt by most of the East Coast for Thanksgiving, with below average temperatures. For several days, it looked as though we were going to get predominantly rain from the systems that come through over the next 10 days or so. There's been a ridge in the southeast keeping temperatures above average for the past week or so here in the Ohio Valley. It even looked as though this ridge would flex following this Thanksgiving cold snap, but now it's looking as though the flex in the ridge will not be quite as strong. Therefore, temperatures in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley region look to be staying in the 30s during the day, with lows in the 20s generally speaking at night. We have a couple shots of precipitation. I'm not saying rain or snow, but rather precipitation due to the fact there's definitely a shot at some freezing rain or maybe sleet. Probably freezing rain though, because for a time the cold air is going to be so shallow, anything that falls will melt before hitting the ground. Now, depending on how long the freezing rain hangs around here in the Ohio Valley, we could run into some issues with, weighing down like tree limbs and maybe a couple power line issues. Just depends on how long the freezing rain and the shallow cold air hangs around. Because until that cold air thickens, it's going to remain freezing rain. And if it remains freezing rain for long enough, we could end up with issues, with weighing down tree limbs and possibly even some power line issues. But, we'll keep you updated. This cold front will also set off lake effect snows. This will leave a deep snowpack for the northern half of the country when it's all said and done. Though, I feel this storm will track just a little further south with all the frozen precipitation. So what you see on the map, move it all about 100 miles further to the southeast. Here in the Ohio Valley, the 27th and the 28th look partly sunny and cold, with highs in the low 30s and lows in the low to mid 20s. So we will have a cold but dry Thanksgiving here in the Ohio Valley. Clouds return Saturday the 29th, with some precipitation starting as rain on Sunday and mixing with and possibly changing to snow as the day goes on, as temperatures start to fall later in the day. For the 1st of December, we look to have clouds with highs in the upper 20s. Snow returns during the overnight hours, remaining around for Tuesday the 2nd, with snow accumulating anywhere from 1 to as much as 4 inches by the time this moves out midday Wednesday of the 3rd. Now, there is a possibility of the system working its way through from the 5th through the 7th of December, with an assortment of precipitation with it. Though we will wait to talk about this until it gets a little bit closer, especially with how flip-floppy the models have been recently. Now, by the end of all this, there could be a tremendous amount of snow, like I said, over really the upper Midwest, the Midwest, all the way through, a part of Indiana, Illinois, the northern half of Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, all of that, Michigan, the UP of Michigan. Here in the Ohio Valley, we're going to get some snow. It's not going to be as much as up north, obviously, because we're going to have the rain and the transition element, but we're going to have some snow a little on the front side, but we're also going to have some on the back side. So, as I said, I see us getting anywhere from 1 to 4 inches, and I think, the further south you are, the further north you are. People in the far northern Miami Valley, I mean, they could get up maybe 6, 8 inches, 10 inches of snow. It just depends. I'll have another update as we get a little bit closer to the system making its way through. So, thank you for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful day.